Hello. Excuse me. Hello, YouTube, YTPC, whoever else. This is the Gentleman Scholar, and just had the urge to do a video. No particular reason. Something kind of interesting happened to me yesterday morning. I have a dear friend named Kate in college. Met her my freshman year. This has to be 1988, thereabouts. I was doing my 5 a.m. jog, super manic, or she had just come back from it, and she's sitting in the cafeteria, like hungover after coming. She was a vet. She was majoring in the veterinary program. I forget what she was done slopping, cleaning out the stalls, and she was in the cafeteria, just all like kind of hungover from the night before, and not vet tech, but animal care. Anyway, we were just basically we kind of crashed into each other. We met and everything like that, and thus was born a friendship of two outcast misfits. She was there because she didn't want to be there, but she was there because her mother made her. I was down there to get away from my mom, for reasons we won't go into here. Um, but over the next 2 years, we became very, very good friends, and that friendship continued after college. She actually moved up to New Hampshire. Her life path took her that way. She originally comes from Southern Connecticut. Anyway, long story short, she eventually found the love of her life. My cat wants to come up here. Sorry, I'm doing something. She eventually found the love of her life. Trial and error. After a couple of false starts, she finally got the happiness that she deserved. A gent named Phil. And I believe she was with him for about roughly the same time I was. Phil, his name was. And she was with him about roughly the same amount of time that I was with Bill, about 20 years. I knew them before I met Bill. I knew them during Bill. And of course, obviously after Bill. And about 2 weeks ago, Kate had called me up on Facebook Messenger, and she was a little bit tipsy. We just talked about it. She basically was going to get her husband out of the hospital. He had problems, gastro problems too, and of course this sounded all too familiar to me. And she was going to be taking him home for hospice. And I'm like, oh God, I hope this doesn't play out the way I think it's going to play out. Well, yesterday morning I got a phone call from Kate. First on the Facebook call thing, and then my phone. I was away from the phone for that 1 second, and she goes, "The message is, when you get this, can you call me back?" And I did. And yeah, her husband Phil had died during the night, and in bed next to her. And of course, she was. I mean, she's on the bed talking to me while he's still on. They were waiting for the cremation society to come pick him up. And to be honest, I don't think I could have done that with Bill. I don't think I could have. That was the plan, to get him back here, for hospice. But just to have him pass in front of me and waiting for waiting for him to be picked up while his cadaver is in the room with me or in the house with me. I don't think I could have taken that. So that girl is tough as nails. But anyway, now she's in the very beginning stages of where I was 6 years ago. 6 years, 6 weeks ago, and she's basically running into walls and glitching out because her brain is just overloaded with loss, grief, numbness, and paradoxically all these emotions that sneak up behind the numbness and like clock you in the face. So yeah, she's going through all that. I know exactly what she's going through, and I'm happy to help her through it. I'm honored to help her through it because if all this grief has to have a reason, there's no reason. There's no reason for any of it. But if this grief has to exist, I might as well steer it towards a greater purpose, and I'm gonna help her out as much as I can. I'm gonna check with her daily. I told her to make like a little shrine for her husband. Like, take your favorite picture, take a couple of his favorite objects, light a candle, that helps to kind of give you a focus. And yeah. So in a weird way, having someone experience the same type of grief makes me feel less alone, and I'm almost ashamed to say that. It's almost like a burden shared, you know? But I'm going to be checking on her on a regular basis, texting her every morning, seeing how she's doing. Um, because that's what friends do, and she's one of my oldest, dearest friends. And she just lost the love of her life. And I mean, you can't take the pain away. You can't erase it. But I'm 6 weeks on the grief train, and she just stepped on it. She just stepped off. She just stepped off the platform, and now she's riding it, and she's going to be lost for a while. And I told her exactly what to expect. I told her it's going to hurt. You're going to cry out of nowhere. You're going to bawl. You're going to see one particular spot or hear one particular conversation, and you'll be crying. You'll be bawling. You'll be keening. And I said, let it go through you. Your grief is not you. It's something it's a mood that moves through you. You have to let it move through you. You have to feel it all. You have to feel all the razor blade cuts of it all, because pushing it down is not going to help. But I'm very glad to help her, but I also feel sorry for her, because she's in for a very, very, very rough ride. Um, but like I said, I'll be there for her as much as I can be. She lives down in, I believe it's Virginia now. She moved down there with Phil to be closer to his side of the family. And I've been writing them ever since, sporadically. I'm a big letter writer, as you know. Um, yeah. So, what else is happening? I flew a trip to Kansas City yesterday. There and back again, really quick. Had a day off. Went to go visit my sister, so we could continue our viewing of the Back to the Future trilogy. And since she's not internet savvy, we had to basically find it free streaming. And at the end of Back to the Future 2, if you know the movies at all, at the end of Back to the Future, they give you like a little old timey coming attractions thing as soon as the movie ends, about like Marty in the Old West, when they cut it for time, I guess, in this particular streaming service. And I felt really, really shortchanged. So let that be a lesson. Do not get rid of your physical media if you're a film fan, because they can be changed. It can be changed. It can be altered. They can change it for swearing. Keep the physical media. I was supposed to be working tomorrow, but I put tomorrow's trip on something called Trip Drop Open Time T dot, and it got T dotted, so that means I get an extra day off tomorrow. Of course, my sister wants to see the third one, so I'll go and help her with that. I'm over the next week or so, I'm gonna like finish up the last handful of straggler Christmas cards. Oh, speaking of which, I got my first Christmas card this year, and another old friend, childhood friend Keith, and he basically writes, "Yes, it's that kind of holiday season this year. Much love, old friend." It's like, and boy, do I know what he's talking about. And of course, as you Whovians know, that's a Doctor Who themed card. I believe it's from David Tennant's first episode as the Doctor, the very first Christmas episode in the new series. I might watch that later. Yeah. Tonight's plans, I'm just gonna basically sit down, enjoy a nice beer buzz, and just watch some geeky science fiction. Maybe some Doctor Who right there, or not. I don't know. Doesn't really matter right now. I'm just kind of drifting along. Still closing out some stuff for Bill. Paying off his cable bill before I switched the name over to me, etc. So on. Just tying up the loose ends of a life, that's all. Anyway, thank you for letting me talk for 10 minutes, 10 whole freaking minutes. Um, I appreciate it. I promise you I'll get back to smoking a pipe at some point. I just have to get down to the cellar, load up the pipe, fill it up, light the match, and just take some puffs. But one step at a time. Anyway, take care of yourself, folks. I would like to thank everyone out there who's been reaching out and saying condolences, and it's really meant a lot. I really, really appreciate it. Um, it's nowhere close to over, but day by day. Anyway, take care of yourselves, folks, and roll on the Christmas season. Have a good one. Cheers.